Welcome back to Synergy Bonus. A bunch of guys that like to sit around, talk about games while drinking. Or after drinking. Or what have you.
Right.
Before drinking.
Never. Never, never, never.
Well, sometimes talking about games does end up with us drinking.
That depends on the quality of the game.
Tonight, we are talking about a game that is near and dear to my heart because it reminds me of junior high school. And also, it ties in with our most recent video about Deadlands.
Not really.
Yes, it does. It gave me the inspiration for my character.
It's true.
Fair.
It really did.
It gave
So yeah,
me
we're talking about Red Dead. No, we're not talking about. We're talking about Sunset Riders.
I'm giving you the look like you just killed your dog.
I know you are. I know you are.
And a dog wasn't involved.
But yes, no, we were talking about Sunset Riders, particularly on the, I almost said N64, on the Super Nintendo.
So once again, going back to the days when Konami was a good thing.
Damn it.
And I didn't have to keep yelling, "Fuck you, you pachinko making fucks."
Which would have been 1991 in the arcade, 92 if you had a Sega Genesis, and 93 for those of us with an SNES.
Greg and I have played it together in the arcade and on the SNES. The SNES actually is the one that we got pretty far on. The arcade we just did for shits and giggles this past
The
year.
SNES is the one that I've beaten it several times and was introduced to it by my friend Haley. So, as Spoony described this is kind of like the game that he loves, Rolling Thunder, only Contra style.
Done by the same team that did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Yes. When I say it's like Rolling Thunder and Codename Viper, they are shoot-'em-up games.
Side-scrolling shoot-'em-up.
Yep. Where your character can do an ungodly leap up to a secondary platform and aim and...
And this one, you do this weird reverse backflip upward vaulting style.
It's kind of cool looking with the sprite work from the
Oh, yes. It is an incredibly interesting game for the sprite works. But, let's see, you have 4 characters to choose from, because from what I remember hearing, in the arcade, there was 2 versions of the cabinet. 2-player and 4-player.
But for what little backstory there is, you're 4 bounty hunters who are on the trail of this gang headed up by Sir Richard Rose, and you're taking out his various underbosses trying to track down his location. And you go through 8 stages plus 2 bonus stages. The Genesis version was a little bit shorter, only comprised of 4 stages instead of 8.
And the Genesis, being the Genesis,
Had
sound
a
quality
shitty sound.
craptacular.
But it did include an interesting mini-game where you faced off against each other in a duel to the death in multiplayer mode.
Very much like Double Dragon.
Yes.
That's good. I want to take it back here to the music.
Sure.
I know we usually talk about that later on. The music to this game is just stellar. It's great. The Super Nintendo and the arcade cabinet are very similar sounding. There's some subtle differences, but they're spot on. The Sega is just...
It's a...
you can tell the song, but it's not where it needs to be.
It is a soundtrack that is begging to be arranged at some point in time, I think.
And also, if you are playing a Western-style D&D game, if you're playing Deadlands, for example, if you're playing Savage Worlds, if you were playing D20 Modern set in the 1890s...
Werewolf the Wild West.
Let's not forget...
God damn it, now he's going to move to Tennessee again! Why'd you do this?
Let's not forget Westbound Dust and Dragons.
Yes, if you're playing any of these
Spellslinger.
games, this soundtrack, if you can find the extended arranged versions of it, incredibly good background music for the campaign.
Phenomenal. So we talked about the music.
Story. We talked about the music.
So how about the controls? How does this play?
Actually pretty solid.
Unlike a Contra game, you don't have weapon power-ups you pick up. You just get upgrades that upgrade your ability to shoot. You start out with 1 weapon. If you're playing as Billy or Steve, you have a pistol.
Single pistol.
If you're playing Bob or Cormano, you have a shotgun.
And if you get the upgrade, you get 2 pistols.
The silver upgrade.
Or 2 shotguns. And what is the gold upgrade?
Increases your rate of fire, so you're more fully auto. Which basically, for the Contra aspect, you have the shooter upgrade.
The spreader, the shotgun, whatever you want to call it. The S ability.
I'm just like, this is how we know that video games were designed originally by people who weren't familiar with guns. Because what's a full auto revolver going to do?
It's called the Wesley. No. Fully auto. I was going to go and say, if it's a semi-automatic, then it's a Wesley Fosbury, and you're just going to hold it down and it's going to keep shooting. But it's a 6-shot, so you're screwed.
And a full auto shotgun?
We call that the USAS-12, and it is a glorious piece of technology, and I love it so much.
There you have it.
It has a 20-round drum.
And technically, by the description, although there is no visual difference in the sprites, Cormano is actually using a long barrel rifle, not a shotgun.
Well, it was looking to me like he was actually using double barrels.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals for this game actually are they're really good. You can actually tell
for the time.
They have still for a 16-bit game. They're gorgeous, even on Spoonie's. What's your size TV?
That wasn't even on the TV. That was on a monitor, and that's a beast. It's almost.
I think
it's a 4K monitor.
We have emulated it on the Wii on that TV, and it's still nice looking.
Yeah, the sprites hold up.
I have some quibbles with things like whoever was in charge of designing the bulls for the Stampede sequence have probably not seen a real bull before.
Yeah, there was also the quibble that the scaling on the train for stage 2 and subsequent stages
was a little off, but
But these reminder complaints.
This is nitpicking.
This is really nitpicking. I want to jump back into the gameplay. You were talking about the different shots and whatnot. Actually, you get to ride a horse in one of these. And
2 of the stages.
And basically,
at the least 2.
The horse, you can control it forward, backward, and still aim. It's a little awkward, but it works.
Mainly because this is back in the era where they didn't give you the whole jump, 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 slide, slide, slide. It's just, hey, you just got done with the stage where you're running around. You're on a horse now.
I'm on a horse.
This guy's throwing logs. If you get hit by
the log, my horse
you're
is
dead.
Glue. So
now shoot at him. Now shoot at me. Now shoot at him. Now back at me. I'm on a horse.
I love the second boss of the game because it incorporates stuff from other Western style games. I'm thinking more like Wild Guns here, where the boss is diving behind cover and whatnot, and then it actually jumps into the, I don't want to say foreground, but it is the foreground at this point.
A lot of the bosses start in the background.
To do combat with you this way. And it's very much like how Wild Guns played. It's like you're in the foreground, you got the bosses up here jumping back and forth and behind things. So I like that they incorporated that, not just a standard run and gun.
Yeah, because the first boss is just kind of the cliche, blast his cover away, kill him, he drops down, dead.
Kill the ads, kill the boss.
The first boss fight was very Hogan's Alley in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Subsequent bosses become much more complex, and you generally want to be playing 2-player, if the very least for someone dealing with ads as they pop up.
Right. If Greg likes to play anyone who uses a shotgun, Bob. You like Bob. But end of the day, Bob. So
it's not right, Bob.
It helps with clearing the ads and whatnot. When I play Billy, I have to strafe back and forth, just a single shot at a time.
Whereas Salt Lake Bob, with Bob, I'm just like, shotgun, shotgun, shotgun. Oh crap, he's in that area I can't hit with a shotgun. Someone please save my life.
Well, I noticed Billy, though, when you get the double guns, he fires the angle, so you can actually hit the boss and the ad at the same time. That's the difference, instead of that spread.
Yeah, whereas Bob and Cormano, they aim both guns in the exact same direction, it's just cone of shot.
Effective kill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Effective kill.
You want them to put down ads, they will do it like there's no tomorrow. And also, if they can get a clear shot on the boss is going to take a lot of damage.
And I want to kind of touch here on the difficulty of this game.
It's surprisingly difficult, actually.
That's surprising, no, when you remember that it was an arcade game first. This is something that's designed to eat your quarters.
Right. But usually when things come to the home console, they're toned down a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking like the Ninja Turtles game. Yeah. This was done by the same team, so you can figure that. It's rough, and I don't actually know if the Konami code works for this game.
It does. It gives you 30 lives.
Oh.
I know this from experience, and you're not going to be using Ninja Turtles 2 version of the code. I think you're using Ninja Turtles 1 code.
The actual Konami code.
The code they put in because their one game tester was really bad at video games.
I don't know. Like
that's the legend that goes behind it.
The code that's required for games journalist.
The code required to beat Contra because Contra is pretty rough.
Contra's Contra.
Yeah. The waterfall. Anyways.
I've gotten to the waterfall without dying.
Yeah.
So as the game really is run to the right and shoot. Beyond all of that, there's not a lot else to be said there. So I want to take a minute to touch on the fact that this, at least the Nintendo version of this, was actually pretty heavily censored when it came to the North American port.
Okay.
They removed any references to alcohol for the most part,
which is weird.
It's par for the course for the time period.
Nintendo censorship angel hits again.
Not particularly. Well, this is 93, so this is before the ESRB.
Yes, but at the same time, this is around the time that Nintendo started cracking down internally on a lot of stuff to appear more family-friendly.
Right.
But in the first stage, there's a door you can run through, and it's made sort of obvious that your character is visiting a prostitute. And you get a bonus for doing so. She drops a gold star, giving you the automatic fire. But in the Nintendo home console version, her outfit is considerably less revealing, and she's just some...
Whereas in the Genesis and the arcade, she's far more baroque or burlesque. Burlesque is the proper word.
Far more burlesque, as opposed to looking like a deaded-up school marm. And there's the stage in the saloon where they're the dancing girls.
Oh, yeah, it's the end of stage 3.
Mm-hmm. And the dancing girls are, as well, very much more revealing outfits in anything but the Nintendo version. They also redubbed a bunch of the lines of dialogue to be less offensive.
Character's name completely changed.
Yes, you had Chief Scalpum in the original version of the game, and the Genesis where he was renamed to Chief Wigwam, which is somehow less offensive. And his dialogue was even changed from "Get ready for big powwow" to "Me powwowed out."
Also, the El Greco was edited, or was
Greek.
El Greco was censored. A Mexican character, by the way, was censored from "Prepare to die, gringo" to "Adios, amigo."
In the beginning and the end of the stage, they removed his entire line of dialogue.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is. They also, in Chief Wigwam's stage, edited out all of the Native American NPC enemies, so you're not committing genocide on a tribe anymore. It's just generic European
white banditos.
Bandits. They can't be banditos if they are gringos. Without further ado,
yeah, Sunset Riders.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it. Like, if we're just a no nonsense run and gun style arcade shooter, this is right up your alley. I would.
It's a fun little time killer. Yeah.
So with that, good night, good gaming. Hey, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed what you saw.
Let us know. Give us a like and a comment down below.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to make sure you get all notifications from us.
And as always,
good night
and good gaming.